Mr. Speaker, our priorities are clear. We're going to axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Stop the auto theft that has run rampant under this Prime Minister. He's now throwing a cape over his back, claiming that he's the hero on auto theft, but it's actually tripled in Toronto, and it's up by 100% in Montreal after he brought in catch and release and house arrest for car thieves, and after his incompetence allowed our ports to spin out of control and our cars to be exported to overseas crime and terror networks. Why doesn't he reverse his policies instead of another meeting?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this is a serious situation. Canadians are concerned about this, and the Conservative leader just chooses to whip out his empty slogans and continue to blame everyone. Well, we're getting to work. We're pulling together stakeholders and leaders from across the government to look at what more we can do. We've seen successes. CBSA agents have intercepted over 1,600 stolen cars last year in 2023, but there's more to do. We're going to continue to make the steady work and investments necessary to keep Canadians safe and to keep crime down.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Keep crime down. Crime is way up. Violent crime is up 40% under this Prime Minister. And today he had his ministers hold a big press conference as their solution. And in it, they put out a press release that said, and I quote, "In 2022, approximately 9,600 vehicles were stolen in the Toronto area alone, representing a 300% increase since 2015. End quote. What happened in 2015?
What happened?
I know, he happened, Mr. Speaker. How can we make him unhappen and stop the crime?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, in 2015, Stephen Harper presented a budget that had slashed funds for policing, slashed funds for CBSA officers, slashed funding for Veterans Affairs Services, and we were there to clean up the mess, to cut taxes for the wealthiest 1%, lower them for the middle class, to support families, to start moving forward on gun control in real ways while the Conservatives cozy up to the American gun lobbies. We've continued to step up in keeping Canadians safe. Let them bring assault weapons back to our streets. We'll keep Canadians safe.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Wow, is he ever losing control of himself? Oh my goodness. Screaming and hollering like that. Mr. Speaker, it's his press release that says that in Toronto, auto thefts are up 300% since he took office. His solution is to hold a summit. He held a summit on food prices. Food prices went up. He held a summit on housing. Housing costs doubled. How much is crime going to rise after all the bigwigs go to his summit?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition has trouble believing that we would actually include real facts in our press release, something he and the Harper government never did for years. Yes, Mr. Speaker, there is a real challenge around auto theft in this country, and our solution is to roll up our sleeves, pull together partners from across the country, and get to solving it. His solution, throw his hands up in the air, blame a raft of political attacks on us, and continue to see that he's not putting forward any real solutions, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister needs a summit to find out about the problem of auto theft. We can help him. He is the problem. It was his policies that caused the 300% increase in auto theft in Toronto. He's asked for solutions. Well, we have some of those too. Will the Prime Minister agree to reverse his catch and release bail policy for car thieves, end house arrest for those who steal cars, and put an end to his incompetence at the Port of Montreal, from which so many of our vehicles are being shipped to organized crime and terrorist networks abroad?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, what's interesting about the Leader of the Opposition is he doesn't actually care about auto theft. He cares about making a good political attack on the government because people are facing real challenges. What we are focused on is solving the challenges. What we are focused on is initiatives like we announced today of $121 million to fight auto theft in Ontario. We've been working to bring together stakeholders and leaders across the country to bring forward more positive solutions to build on the 1,600 recovered autos that we prevented from being stolen last year.
Is he not worth the cost? He's not worth the crime, and now he's spreading disinformation. Years after he promised he was going to ban these so-called military assault rifles, they're still legal in Canada, and he's paying foreign hunters to get into helicopters and fly around over Vancouver Island to slaughter deer that our hunters would have taken down for free for the meat. When will this Prime Minister stop his policy of targeting lawful Canadians and go after the real criminals that are terrorizing our streets?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The contortions the Leader of the Official Opposition goes through to try and talk about gun control are quite impressive, Mr. Speaker, but Canadians will not be fooled by him. The Order in Council that made assault-style weapons illegal to use, to purchase, or to share or sell is still in place. The Conservative Party of Canada has as its official position that it wants to restore the legality of assault-style weapons in this country.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, he stumbles and bumbles when he does not know what he's talking about, and he does not know what he's talking about because he does not care what he's talking about. He still has not banned those guns. Years after promising on the election trail that he did, they are still legally in the possession of their owners at this stage, and he says he won't be able to do it until a week after the next election. Meanwhile, he tried to publish 300 pages of hunting rifles that he wanted to ban, blaming First Nations hunters for crime in downtown Toronto. Why does he want to why does he want to protect turkeys from hunters instead of Canadians from criminals?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as of a number of years ago, it is illegal to buy, sell, or use or bequeath military-style or assault-style weapons in this country. We did that. We banned over 1,600 models of assault-style weapons. The Conservative Party wants to make those assault-style weapons legal again. And everything they do is focused on misinformation and disinformation, bringing in hunters who are not targeted by these measures to try and justify their anchoring on the NRA.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
More stumbling and bumbling, Mr. Speaker. The guns he talked about are not banned. And he says they will not be banned until 1 week after the next election because he cannot figure out how to ban them, years after he announced it. Meanwhile, he's spending billions of dollars going after licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested people who've proven that they are statistically the least likely to commit crime. And what has been the consequence? In 8 years, we've had a 100% increase in criminal shootings. Why does he always go after the good guys instead of putting the bad guys in jail?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in May of 2020, we rendered it illegal to buy or sell or use or bequeath 1,600 different models of assault-style weapons in this country. That is still the case, Mr. Speaker. In the coming year, we will be bringing in an amnesty legacy program. We're extending the amnesty to be able to bring in a buyback for the owners of these weapons. But we are moving forward on gun control when he wants to bring assault-style weapons back to Canadians.